and I have cancer of the colon with metastases to just about everywhere in my abdomen, including the liver and the appendix and the bladder. I was diagnosed as a stage 4 patient. I had no clue that I was sick until I got sick, when my stomach stopped backing or stopped working anymore. I couldn't just, nothing passing through. I had surgery then to remove the appendix, and the tumor that was on the appendix was the size of an orange. And they diagnosed me with mucinous adenocarcinoma arising out of the bowel, or the rectum actually. And I was told right off the hop that radiation and chemo were not an option for me, that they simply sewed me back up again and gave me 6 to 12 months to live. And I'm month 21 right now. So somewhere somebody didn't know what they were talking about, or by the grace of God, I'm here in any case. That has allowed me the opportunity to seek various kinds of therapy, which I started researching right away. Even in the hospital, I was there for 2 weeks. I started researching right off the bat, trying to find therapies that would work and whatever else. But I tried immunotherapy for almost a year and found that really wasn't doing anything for me. And I don't know if it was hurting me, but it certainly wasn't helping me. So I quit that and I tried another therapy involving strictly nutrition, and I found out after 6 months that wasn't doing anything for me either. When I started that second protocol, I was told to consider the BX. I was by the doctor actually who was working with me in immunotherapy, but I elected at the time not to do so, and I frittered 6 months of my life away doing that. Having said that, when I finally got serious about the BX protocol, I was accepted into the program very quickly and started almost immediately. I'd say within a week and a half of registering and going through all the hoops there. I had my stuff and I was, doing the detox and ready to go. I got the first injection into me in January, and the blood test showed that it was doing what it was supposed to do. But in the meantime, as expected, my CEAs kept on going up, and they haven't come down since, even to this point anyway. They've gone up from, I would say almost 21 to 58. But then I've subsequently had 2 more injections, one in March and one again very recently, like in just last week. I've been passing, like a lot of blood and mucus and stuff like that, which is consistent with the disease because it's mucinous. But it's still, I didn't know if I was going to live or going to die. And, well, we're all going to die, I guess, sooner or later, but at the same time, it was a question of how soon. But this past couple of weeks, I've noticed that the symptoms regarding my bladder were easing up a little bit. But the pain that I was experiencing was increasing. And I found that rather troubling, because up until now I have not had to have any painkillers. So I was told, Motrin would be the drug of choice anyway to start, just to see what happens. And that did take the edge off the pain. It allowed me to sleep a little more. But, I would say the pain was up to a good 4, possibly 5, especially before I started, before I took the Motrin, like on that particular day. As I mentioned earlier, I've been passing a lot of mucus, and that turned rather bloody in the last week or so, a week and a half, along with the increase in pain. Last night I had to go to the toilet, and it was an experience I've never had before. My sphincter had to work overtime there to get that stuff out. It was just something like I've never, ever experienced before in terms of size. And for a person who has an ileostomy, to have that much come out of the rectum is rather surprising. But what came out last night was a lot of fibrous material. I imagine too in some clots and stuff like that. But I did not have the presence of mind to catch the first part, but the second part, the smaller part, for lack of a better word, kind of got stuck. So I had the time to grab a piece of toilet paper and to catch what was there. And when I caught it, the mass was fit nicely in the palm of my hand, and it was gray and it was fibrous, and it was quite spongy. Like it wasn't not like you could poke a hole in it, but it definitely was something that had some substance to it. And I did not get to take a picture of it because I didn't have the presence of mind to do so. Maybe next time I'll have a camera ready, who knows. But I've never seen the likes of that before. I've been a dairy farmer for quite a number of years, and this just reminds me a lot of the consistency of an afterbirth from a cow. That fibrous and that gelatinous type material, and it and along with it was an immediate relief of pain. I did not take Motrin last night, as I thought I was going to have to do because of the pain. But that pain was gone. And yes, I lost 2 pounds over the deal. I'm sure that's what it is, because I didn't eat quite as much yesterday, but between maybe the little bit of lack of eating and what came out last night, I'm sure that made about half of it, because when push came to shove, I would guess that the total volume of the mass would be enough to fit in my cupped hands together. So that's basically the long and short of what happened last night. But it came very suddenly, no warning whatsoever, and it was just over within 5 minutes. And yeah, I feel so much better right now. It's not, well, it's beautiful. It's a blessed relief. Well, I'm guessing it was the tumor, or what was left over from the tumor in my rectum. I had the tumor right on the rectum inside, like you could palpate it right off the bat. That was something niggling at the back of my mind already 3 years ago, when the doctor examined me and was looking at my prostate and stuff like that. And as a 50-year-old, you kind of, when he's in the news, told me that there was a prominence on the prostate at the time, and I never checked it out subsequently until I had this tumor. But it's just inside, like you don't need a long finger to find it. So that's my best guess, because I don't have tumors anywhere else on the colon as far as I know. But that one was probably the one right inside the rectum, because I can sit now more comfortably than I've sat in a month, maybe even 2 months. Last week I tried sitting on this chair at this computer here. I couldn't do it for more than a minute. And I've been sitting on the same chair now for as long as I've been talking with Michael here. So, I'm guessing it's a tumor, just by virtue of the fact that if it was anything else, either I'd be hemorrhaging to death, or I wouldn't be any more comfortable than I was previously.